Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Evidence, the podcast where we dive deep into true crime cases, uncovering the facts and exploring the unanswered questions that keep us coming back for more. I'm your host, Marv, and I want to thank you for joining me today. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can find links to my PayPal and Cash App in the description. Now, let's get into today's topic.
In the shadows, where the truth lies, Marv's on the case, with justice in her eyes. Unsolved mysteries, voices lost in time. She digs deeper, uncovering the crime. Beyond the evidence, she'll fight the fight. Beyond the evidence, where justice matters. Marv's the voice for the voiceless, breaking all the patterns, facts and theories, clues and controversy. Join the journey, uncovering the mystery. This is Beyond the Evidence, where justice prevails, with Marv leading the way. Truth never fails. Now get ready for this live stream. Super chat, highlight your message. Don't fall victim to the irrelevance. Hit that like, share, subscribe to Marv's Beyond the Evidence.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here with us on Beyond the Evidence. We're live with a major update on the manhunt for Travis Decker. He's wanted in Washington for the kidnapping and red rum of his 3 daughters. Today, we'll cover why Decker is wanted, where authorities are searching, and a new Idaho tip, and what the outlook looks like moving forward. But first, I want to bring on my co-host. Please welcome I'll Be Frank. Hello.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm fine. I've just dropped your link in my chat to get people to come over here. Because, like, I've done this live before, so
Yeah.
people can come over here. That'd be better.
So I just wanted to tell my audience this is the first time I'm talking about this. I'll Be Frank and I are doing an update, and tomorrow we're going to go through a comprehensive review of this case here on Beyond the Evidence. So good to see everybody. Thank you for joining us. Do you want to start with why Travis Decker is a fugitive and why he's wanted?
Okay, so the day he picked up his daughters, and this is what the police believe happened. The day before, he set up on a campground, and when he picked up his daughters, he broke the order by going to the campground, and then it's believed that he unalived them, and since then, no one's heard nothing or anything like that of him.
Right. And because of this, we know he's on the run. So he's facing 3 counts, each of first degree, and I'm going to say it, murder, and kidnapping after failing to return his daughters, Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia, following a court-approved visit on May 30th of this year. As we know, his truck was found near Rock Island Campground in is it Chelan County, Washington?
I thought Chelan, but again, Americans pronounce things different to we, so
I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
know.
I'm not in that area. What they found was bloody handprints confirmed via DNA, and the 3 girls were found, um, unfortunately deceased. So no other suspects are being sought except for him. So we know that the original search was focused around the Cascade Range near Leavenworth and Lake Winnetachee. Did they use, Frank? I'll be frank. Do you know? Did they use like canines and ground teams?
Okay,
What-
so there was a tip, a sighting of him. So they brought helicopters in for aerial, and then later on, they brought in for recovery in case he was deceased. They brought in a cadaver dog. So I know that a cadaver dog was brought in.
And
I
I
haven't
think,
heard anything about canines as such, but I would imagine now that they are. I'd imagine now because I mean it's been a month, well over a month now, and because when I last did one was around about a month anniversary. So
yeah, and I
yeah,
think in my research, I remember hearing canines, drones, and something about water teams
yeah,
look in the creek for him. Um,
yeah,
we know.
that was probably part of the recovery because they said that because at first when that tip was given in, there was evidence like that he was in the area and things like that, and then after a week, like that evidence started to dwindle, as in they weren't finding nothing to support that he was in the area or even alive.
Yeah. Um, so this man has been on the run. He's good at being a survivalist in the woods, correct?
Yeah, but we're not sure what he was in. Some have suggested paratrooper. Some have suggested that he was just a guard. But I was looking through Facebook for any updates the other day, and someone who apparently served with him was saying he was he was an active service soldier, and he was in the guards during the time this happened, but he wasn't attending or something along them lines.
Has the USA got a tracking team, special forces? Um, each state would have their own. And
I think in Idaho, I think they have got the army in there, but beforehand they were. If he's wearing military fatigue, what was that?
if he's wearing military fatigues, helicopters and drones won't help find him, won't be able to help find him.
Well, according to the last tip, he was in raggedy clothes, so I don't think that's the case, Frank. But what he's got underneath, or how credible that tip is, we don't know. They're suggesting though that they think it's him.
So the new tip came along the day after the 4th of July on July 5th, and a family spotted a man in the Bear Creek area of Sawtooth National Forest, fitting Decker's description. Black mesh cap, gauged earrings, a cream t shirt, his ponytail, overgrown beard, a Garmin watch, and a backpack with low top sneakers. That's how these individuals described him to authorities.
So with the Idaho tip, they said the person who gave the tip said they didn't like they gave the description, said they'd seen him on the news and whatnot, and then Lan, according to Bossy, but they didn't know anything about tattoos, but they did describe his tattoos. very detailedly, and
Okay.
they even described one on his ankle that they hadn't released.
To the public.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. That means they're probably on the right track. Let's take a look at a quick news video here that I've got, and then we'll
Yep.
go into some of the other things that as to why authorities deem the sighting credible.
The U.S. Marshals Service Greater Idaho Fugitive Task Force is asking for help in locating Travis Decker for people who are recreating in the Sawtooth National Forest area. Decker is wanted by the Chelan County Sheriff's Office in Washington State for 3 counts of murder and 3 counts of kidnapping his children in May of 2025. On Saturday, the U.S. Marshals Service received a tip from a family recreating in the Bear Creek area of the Sawtooth National Forest, consistent with the description of Travis Decker. The person believed to be Decker was described as a white male wearing a black mesh cap, black gauged earrings, cream-colored t-shirt, black shorts, long ponytail, beard, and mustache overgrown, wearing a black JanSport backpack and either Converse or Vans low-top shoes. The U.S. Marshals is seeking assistance from the public who specifically was in the Bear Creek area over the weekend. Anyone with information, call 1-800-336-0102.
It's here. The used campers.
Oh, yeah. All right, we're back. So that was basically the same information that we just gave you. And the reason that they think he's a match is because the physical match works out. Height, clothing, beard. Like we said, he does have a survival background. He's trained in wilderness living. His behavior, from what I have gained, was he was trying to be, he had an avoidant stance and non-response consistent with a fugitive behavior.
He's just to put onto that, his ex-wife said that he'd been struggling with PTSD. He'd been trying to get help for that, but to no avail. And also, he'd been acting very impeculiar, like towards the day of the incident, non-responsive, like you said. He was a lot more like quieter.
Right. And, you know, like I said, I found some information more on him and his background and everything, and we're going to go over that tomorrow. So we know that the U.S. Marshals Greater Idaho Task Force is involved now because of the sighting in Idaho. The Forest Service, Camas County Sheriff, and others are conducting combined air and ground searches. There's been public alerts out to motorists urging not to stop for hitchhikers. Drones are banned near the operations, and cabin owners and campers are being canvassed. And I just showed you here on the wanted poster, there is a $20,000 reward out for his arrest. This gives you his hair color, which is black, eyes, which are brown. He's about 5'8", height of 190, and just tells you that he is considered to be armed and dangerous.
It said as well on there that he'd had extensive military training. So
yes, and seems like he's a survivalist. He's used to being out in the woods. From what I have read and heard, it was not uncommon for him to go 2 to 3 months off the grid in the woods without
Yeah.
contacting anybody. So, what other information do we have on this? I'll be frank.
So when the girls were found, their hands were tied. There were bags over their head, and when the location was found at first, they found zip ties scattered around, carrier bags scattered around, and blood on the tailgate of his truck, and that's now been confirmed to be him, as in his DNA.
Right. And what else we can tell you is that authorities actually thought maybe he was deceased because nobody's seen him, but it's obvious that he got from Washington to Idaho and he's sticking to these national parks or parks, camping sites, something of that magnitude. So if you're in the surrounding area of Idaho now, keep an eye out, and the surrounding states. He may have moved on now that he was spotted.
Yeah.
So it's just important that we find him. These 3 little girls did not deserve this. And in another stream coming up, we're going to talk about the familicide and why parents are doing this to their children and how we can help stop it. Because it's become an epidemic where this is happening every day. We're hearing about parents, adoptive parents, family members.
Isn't it filicide?
What is it?
Is it filicide, isn't it?
Oh, filicide, yeah. And one of the things
I remember covering it before.
Yeah, and I think in one of the things it said familicide too, but I think it is filicide. But we just wanted to get this update out today and make sure that everybody is on the lookout. Share this with other groups. Anybody you may know in the Idaho and Washington area and surrounding states, because he slipped up once, he's going to slip up again and be seen. And yes, he does have Special Force Rangers training. He did not complete it, but he did have the training.
Bossy's comment here at the bottom is quite interesting as well.
He could be posing as a homeless person to move around less detected too when he's traveling. Just a thought. Exactly. And we don't know exactly what he has in that backpack that he's carrying. And that's why the police are telling everyone not to approach him, just to call it in and make sure that it's just known to police as to the sighting. Let's see here. So you're urged to call 911, and I'm going to make a new banner here. So they're actually asking you to call either 911 or the U.S. Marshals. And I'm getting you that number for the Marshals number now. So there we go. Gibbo, do you think he's still in Idaho, or do you think he's moved on?
I think it's hard to tell because it's like the last tip was how long ago, and now he's been spotted in Idaho. So it's been a few weeks. So he could have moved on. he could backtrack. Sometimes, like they say, take a step back to go forward. So he could be backtracking to knock him off his scent and then get out that way, like branch out that way. But see, I know Frank was saying he thinks he's in Mexico or heading to Mexico at least. Not Mexico, sorry, Canada. But that's the opposite direction, ain't it, Idaho?
You're right, right.
So is that in digging down into Mexico, maybe?
Who knows? I mean, he obviously got from Washington to Idaho, so he's either walking, hitching rides, taking buses. We don't know how much money he's got with him. So initially they thought he was going to go up to Canada, but maybe he is heading to Mexico.
I heard talk of again, like I said, this is just on the Facebook group. Talk of him having a bike or using a bike to get around.
Yep, that's possible too, and maybe it took him that long to walk or bike to Idaho. Who knows? But we definitely have to be on the lookout. And
I'll get off the screen. That's not your channel.
iPhone link for, there you go. Mine would be at Beyond the Evidence 1/join. So definitely this is a man that we want to get off the streets, because I feel that if he can do this to his daughters, he can do it to anyone. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you just hit the nail on the head. If he can do it to his daughters, then do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it does look, and I'm not excusing what he's done, because what he's done is a heinous crime, but it does look like he's not thinking mentally. He's clearly not well, and the reason I highlight that is because that means he's dangerous, very, very dangerous.
Right. And we will be going over, we know he's got PTSD from the military when he was in there. And so there is some mental health issues there, along with some others that I've uncovered. So, it's a combination of things, and he just needs to be found and off the streets so that he doesn't hurt anybody else.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Anything else, Frank, that you want to touch on with him?
Well, you said you're doing a deeper dive tomorrow, aren't you? So I'm trying not to bring things up, and you're sitting there like, oh God, that was my secret weapon.
Oh, no. I'm just mentioning things today, like the mental illness is huge.
Yeah, but that doesn't excuse what he's done.
Right. The fact that they don't know if he still has weapons or any weapons, so he's considered armed and dangerous. And the biggest thing is somehow he got from Washington to Idaho in the past month. So,
there has been. I think I sent it to you, Marv. I was half asleep when I sent it to you. An image of someone being arrested, saying that it's him.
Oh, yes,
and it's been confirmed it's not him. So
yes, there were false reports that he was arrested, and he has not been arrested. So, Travis Decker remains at large, believed to be hiding in remote terrain after allegedly unaliving his daughters. Authorities across Washington and Idaho forests are continuing their search. And once again, if you see anyone matching his description, don't approach please call 911 or the Marshall number at the bottom of the screen. We don't want anybody else to get hurt. And like Frank or Gibbo said, we don't know what his mental status is right now. We know it's not good. But
Yeah, well, clearly not good.
right, but those people are the most dangerous when they're having their episodes. So
Yeah, we don't need any more victims or even casualties.
correct. Don't need anybody else getting hurt. Let's see. That's all I have for today. I just want to say, please share this, get this out to everybody you know, especially in those states and the surrounding states around it. Anything you have to say, Gibbo?
Yeah, everyone in my chat, just to let you know, Aurora is not a mod, so don't listen to her.
Oh,
I don't know why she's blue, but this is disgusting.
he's a
All
mom.
right, thanks, Mark, for doing this. I'll share your live act. You said you're doing it tomorrow,
Yes, I'm gonna set it up here in just a little bit.
and I'll send you some of the Travis Decker Facebook groups as well
Okay, that would be great.
for you to put your lives in.
Yeah. So share this out and remember these three beautiful little girls. Their lives mattered. They were cut down and they shouldn't have been. They were taken
Yeah.
out of this world by someone that they loved more than anything and trusted. So we want to always remember these three beautiful little girls, Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia.
They look so young and happy, don't they? And the one that's supposed to protect them.
Right. Right.
Normally, when we're doing cases like this, the children, they look heavily neglected, and do you know what I mean? And these children clearly wasn't. They were clearly loved by both parents, and mental health and whatnot took its toll. But again, I'm not excusing what he did.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this update. And like I said, share this, get this out to anyone that you can. And Frank and I are going to collaborate. Frank, I keep calling you Frank. Gibbo and I are going to collaborate on some more stories. So you'll be seeing us both together again soon.
You hear that, Aurora? I've moved on.
Have a good day, everybody, and watch the short that I put out this morning on 2 missing kids. And then there will be a pre-recorded video coming out this afternoon once it loads on another missing child in a heartbreaking story. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.
See you later.
Bye.